Alright everyone, thanks for checking out my YouTube. It's been about 15 months since my accident. I'm sure some of you have read it online and seen that, but now I'm back in the shop. Obviously different shop because I sold the house with shop in Phoenix, moved back to California to be near my family, and I am starting a 1968 F250 Prerunner build, and in front of me here is some equal length four-wheel drive I-beams from a F250, a D50 TTB front end. So I will post some pictures right now of this and the truck with the roll cage, and put in the description a little update on what's going on in this truck, because it is a 68 F250. I'm keeping it 8 lug, and I don't need to worry about smog in California since it's pre-75. So this is a Ford, but it's getting a GM 6-liter LQ9 4L80 NP205 transfer case, the D50 front end, the D70 trussed and tabbed rear end, big Fox 3-inch coilovers, 3.5 front bypasses, 4.4 rear bypasses, air bumps all around, sway bar, a Harmon racing fuel cell that I custom made a can for. That's about 55 gallons. So I'm gonna put that behind the axle. And this is a long-term project. I did buy the truck in 2012 and I haven't really done much work on it besides the cab cage and a few things. So let me post up some pictures here and I'll give you an update on what the project is. Alright, so let me talk about this D50 TTB equal length front end. It's a little different than most other TTB front ends, being unequal length. Plus I've never done one like this, so it's a lot of learning experience, and there is some gaps on the tube, but once it's off of my fixture, I will be able to heat it up and hammer those gaps away, and then do some overlay plates and you'll never notice. Alright, so here's the D50 TTB. You can see starting right here is where the factory housing is. I cut this. Since it is going in a 68 F250, I had to extend this area here from the wheel mount so the diff is inside of the frame so your drive line can all clear. I did a truss. I only have a shorter brake, and with these compound bends and angles, I did the truss in a 2-piece that I will weld this, grind it smooth, do a nice overlay plate. Same with on this beam, I have a 2-piece design that I will weld this and then have same thing, an overlay plate there. I'm running a uniball. To mock up the uniball width, I have 2 pieces of 3/16. So the distance between these bigger tabs is 2 3/4, the same as my misalignment spacers. And on the inside of this inner tab here, I cut a piece of plate that fits tight inside the uniball cup on both of these to keep everything centered. So passenger side I-beam, you can see I had to bend the passenger I-beam to clear this pivot here as it cycles, but since it is a 4-wheel drive TTB, I need the axle to be able to still go in here, which is why there's this large jog. And normally on D50 and D44 TTB front ends, this passenger beam is shorter and it goes up to the pumpkin here only. So I'm going equal length, so I had to swing the passenger beam in front of the driver's side I-beam to clear everything. Now you can see there's a diff bolt there, fill plug, 2 more diff bolts. So you can see I had to fit a piece of tubing onto the truss to be able to get to those bolts to bolt everything together. Alright, now here, these are the D50 factory knuckles. Drilled this out to run a 5/8 bolt so I could put the Heim with the misalignment spacer. I also double sheared this tab, preheated the knuckle since it is cast, welded this gusset on here, and then I'll be doing crossover steering just like you would see on a 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive I-beam truck, so you won't get bump steer across the entire travel. Alright, now what I use for templates is ram board. You can get this at Home Depot. It's nice because it's thick, it actually retains the shape, so if you bend it, that's how I did these gussets here and over there, and the truss. I used ram board, made my 3 pieces, and then taped it together. So now what I'll do is I'm gonna put a truss gusset from here to the knuckle. So now I will make that. Alright, now this template here ends up a little bit short in this area. So I'm going to trace this template since it fits good here and on the tube to a new piece of ram board so that I can fix this in and then draw my angle. Alright, so here's where I'm going to be doing that gusset that I was just making. Now you can see fits in there good. There's a little bump there, but I'll just fix that in the computer drawing. And that gusset's there. Now what I've learned is to make the templates as good as possible because it will reduce the amount of grinding and cleanup needed. So let's go to the computer and get this thing put in the drawing so we can cut one out. Alright, so now that we're back over to the computer, I use a PlasmaCam program and it allows me to import any bitmap photo. So I just scan this with my scanner here and I scan it into black and white and then I'll import it. So let's get that done right now. Alright, so as you can see here, I got the template scanned in, just saved it, so now I'm going to import it into my PlasmaCam program. So now it's imported in, it's a bunch of little segments, so now I have to just clean it up. Basically, I just trace it with the program, and then it allows me to cut it out a lot easier, and then there'll be less cleanup on the actual metal plates. Alright, so there's the templates, there's the scan. Now we're gonna get this laid out on the tape, on the plate, get it cut out, and then we could grind and fit it to the beam.